Hello, everybody. You are listening to Tales from Tomorrow. My name is Kyle, and I will be your overseer this evening as we play the Fallout 2D20 TTRPG by Modiphius Entertainment, made in conjunction with Bethesda. This is the official Fallout rules. And for anyone that's been following the channel, this is episode 15 we're diving into tonight. We're going to be joined by our cast of players here in just a second. But to say right at the top, we had our very first meeting for the summer campaign series. That is to say, we're hosting campaigns of this game free and open for everyone at home to join in with. We had our very first meeting, a Discord meet and greet Saturday. It was the 17th, and it was phenomenal. The players that showed up were really cool, and there were a couple that showed interest in doing even more with the channel into the future, and I just love to see that. There's a lot of people with Fallout energy, momentum, and people looking for camaraderie in times like this. So we're trying to be that place. We got a lot of personal excitement from myself and all the players here, and the very same from the viewers. So thank you to everyone who watches along at home, whether it's on YouTube or you're watching or listening over on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or anywhere else. We syndicate the show. Usually it's always on Wednesday. I've been really good about that schedule. So on Wednesdays, we syndicate the show out on YouTube in video form, and again, all your favorite podcast players in audio. And I would especially recommend you go subscribe to our Substack, where you can get a written review of the episode too, usually 2 to 4 paragraphs giving a brief summary of the last episode. It also includes all those links and affiliate codes we like to tell you about. People have been going crazy on the Bethesda merch shop this last week. There have been so many new cool items, and I've been putting out so many of those new Bethesda discount codes. I want to tell people right off the bat, if you want to get 20% off for your very own, you can use the codes BTales23, 26, and 27. People bought out the 24 and 25. They used all those codes. So 26, 27, I bet that 23 expires soon. But anyway, those codes last 1 week, 10 uses. Always check back to the latest podcast episode. Wherever you grab it, you'll find it in the description below, a new code for that week. Also, we have an evergreen code. If you want to buy the Fallout TTRPG for yourself, you can use the code BTales at checkout on the Modiphius site. That'll save you 10%. We get a kickback from that as well. So there you go. You have a couple ways to show off and have some Fallout fun. We were just unboxing this pre-stream. It is one of the Fallout water bottles. So check that out. Did a review of the Pip-Boy this last week. I'll put that up here on camera, as well as did a review the prior week of some of these LED signs I picked up for Fallout stuff. Maybe this will come to life. I don't know if it's sleeping now. Hello, good day. Anyway, it's pretty neat. If you want to go check it out for yourself, they have them up there in the shop. You heard probably that the show is coming out this December for its second season. And let's not break anything in the set. Coming out this December, there's going to be new rule books from Modiphius coming out in conjunction with that. They're doing stuff with New Reno. So it's going to be a really rich Fallout time. Maybe grab that Pip-Boy before it goes out of stock. They also got Lucy's backpack up there on the shop again. So lots of cool stuff. Enough with that portion of housekeeping. Let's go and introduce our friends, co-hosts, guests for tonight, all the above, our players. We got Sky playing Sam this evening. Hello, Sky. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing well, thank you.
We have Dark Knight playing his character Jim. Hello, DK.
Hello.
And we've got Mac Raven playing her character Raven. Hi, Raven. How are you?
Hello, me want that Pip-Boy.
Yeah, well, you gotta come pry it off of my dead vault dweller arm. I really am getting the whole vault overseer vibe happening here. And that's where I want to do another little bit of housekeeping segue to tell people you can now officially go to vaultbroadcast.com and check out the new podcast coming this June. We're creating a show that brings together creators and prop makers, event planners, organizers, storytellers that all exist in and around the Fallout universe, people that contribute to the community. We're having them by for a talk show. The plan is to air at least one episode a week, but maybe grow that out to be a couple day airings. Fallout talk show, community oriented, potentially some deep dives on lore in there. And we really want to open it up that you guys can send in segments of your own if you're interested in producing something and getting it out there. This is a share and share alike space. So if you're someone who, again, makes anything for the Fallout community, you make it, you share it, we want to highlight that sort of stuff. So come on by the Discord server, but Vault Broadcast is a great place to go, vaultbroadcast.com. That'll send you over to the brand new Substack page for it. So you can get in early, put your email on that list. It is already up on Spotify. It is up on Amazon Music. I think it's on Audible. It's circulating to some others. It's not on YouTube yet. Their code confirmation system takes some time, and it's really janky. So thanks YouTube for being the the slow duck. But we're going to get that up there in short order, and certainly before we kick off in June. That's going to be really exciting. And then July, we're going to be kicking off with the summer campaign series. We're going to be hosting shows on Saturdays and then probably syndicating those because that crew sounds very interested in doing YouTube stuff. So that's something very exciting to me, and I can't wait to dive into that further. Now, I've been talking a lot. Mac, you got something to say. You've been typing. I'm getting ready to pull us into a new scene here while you do that. And we got a crying Louie. Oh, poor baby, if you weren't so spoiled all day long. For those that don't know, this little guy on the screen here, that is our Louie. He is the puppo, and he is beloved. But he's also a little bit of a squeaker because he wants everything always. Okay, I need to swap this around and do that. Okie doke, everyone at home, you can see our game set up here. Pull some things together really quickly for our... Whoop. There we go.
Louis, I will give you snack if you get me that Pip-Boy.
Oh, how smart, but also how shady. Raven's trying to bribe my dog to steal my Pip-Boy. He'd do it too in a heartbeat, Mac. He's not here for me, he's here for snacks. Let's be honest. Okay, it looks like I've got everything pulled up the way I need it and want it. Quick recap, because last week was very much a maintenance episode. The crew had departed the Drumlin Diner, had taken their crew of Orb Cultists down the river in their boat that they had recently commandeered. They took them down to the beachhead where the APC had been tossed with Lena previously inside. They had left the APC, put a booby trap there, and came back to it with these cultists to try and flip it. Using Raven's power armor, a winch in the boat, and the Orb Cultists' blood, sweat, and literally bones, they were able to get the APC upright. Damaged, but upright. Jim then took that back to Hope. Sam rode along with the the Orb Cultists as they went up the river, regrouping back in the town of Hope. There was a lot of chatter in the last episode, a lot of character development and back and forth between folks like Rusty Dusty Bones. There was a little bit of conversation and conversing with Tom and with Hell's Bells. I believe she chimed in a couple times there as well. Lena's condition had been marked as recovering, but still unconscious. And that is about where the team had decided they were going to set off on an adventure, whether they'd go it today or in the next episode or so. But they were planning on taking off down the Ohio River, getting further into Appalachia. One of the discussed end goals was to meet with the free radicals, take Rusty along with. And I think Rusty was actually piling himself and his pack brahmin into the boat last episode. So he may be eagerly awaiting to shove off. I'm not sure. But as for our players, they had purchased up some gear, ammo, and the rest, getting ready for this trip ahead. Players, I'd like to bring you into the fold now. Where do we leave off? We'll just go through in the same order as always. I see on the screen, we've got Sam. You were just concluding business with Terry, I believe.
Yes, I was.
And then
I got everything that I needed.
Yeah, go for it. I was going to say the next part of me, actually, one more thing first. So Jim had also run off to his room, and then Raven was still hanging out in the town hall. So whatever you decide to do, Sam, now ball's in your court. We'll go meet up and figure out what comes next.
Question, we're in nighttime or daytime?
We are in the next day, so it is somewhere in morning hour. We're going to say it's before 11 a.m.
Then I'm guessing that's time to roll out. So I will head out back to the room to check on Jim and Raven, see how they're doing. I walk in and ask them, "You guys ready for this journey?"
I suppose so.
Got
Look,
everything
Sam,
loaded
it's
up?
a moon monkey.
Oh, I remember that show.
Yeah.
Jangles the Moon Monkey. I loved it. I watched all the time when I was a little kid. Who knows? Maybe that's good luck. If everyone is packed and ready, I don't see why we should be wasting any time. Got a long road ahead of us. Or river.
As you say that, Sam, there is a knock at the door. Hello? Hello? Can I come in?
Still having manners to this day, old buddy. Welcome.
Hello, Master Sam. Great to see you. I wanted to see you all off on your journey and, well, also offer my assistance if you needed a robotic butler to join you on managing such a ship. I can't ever say I've been sailing myself, but I remember reading manuals of sailing and oh, the good times Master used to go on the river.
Well, I don't see how that I don't see how that'd be a problem. And I walk over here and I pick up the hat off of Jim's nightstand that I gave him, that captain's hat, and I throw it on Alfred. Say, you look the part already, buddy.
Oh!
Captain Al of High Seas.
Oh, well, I didn't expect to be promoted so quickly.
Well, you're good at boosting morale, buddy.
Very well, we ship off in 1 hour. Whoever's on board the boat is going with us, and whoever's not, well, you can swim alongside, and you can say that's an order from the captain. He bursts out the door and goes on to check on his ship, now newly appointed, and anointed the captain of whether that is for real or for play.
Well, at least he's gung-ho about it.
Yeah.
So we got some time to kill. Has everyone gotten everything that they need? We sure we're packed up?
Yeah, I got everything. I'm good to go.
Maybe we should check on those cultists and see how they're doing this morning.
That would be nice, yeah, because...
I am ready, sir.
Oh.
Alright. Let's go. Make sure they haven't made a ramshackle of this house.
You go up to the door of the house that you have appointed as the home and temporary, permanent, I don't know, dwellings of the Orb Cultists. There are now 6 of them remaining, and as you proceed to knock on the door, one of the cultists opens it with a big grin and goes, "Oh, you're here for the morning service! Blessed, perfect timing! Come in, ask the orb your questions, come." And as if you go in, you see that arranged around the room in a semicircle, the cultists are, 5 of them are sitting in a half circle looking at the 8-fold speaker who sort of stands in front of the television, orb in hand.
What you thinking? Y'all got any questions for the orb?
How the orb today?
Well, the orb is always knowing. And knowing is good.
You ask the orb a lot of questions, but have you ever asked how the orb feels?
Who are you guys talking to, by the way? So there's the cultist
The eightfold
guy.
speaker.
So he's in the, so you guys are just, well, I'm assuming Max is asking some stranger there because they're all like around and like looking
Okay.
and interfaced with him. If you want to like go in front of all of the people and kind of like interrupt their thing, you can. But you're like, if you're casually asking it the way you're talking, like just, hey, like they're not going to hear you. He's already up there conversing with other people.
I'll listen in.
He's just going on about we're here in this new town to bring enlightenment to the people. They have chosen us as their guardians, and we have shed our blood to bring them the light.
This is getting really heavy.
He continues. He's just going on and on and on. You did not, Raven. You did not. You walked past them today, actually. Yeah. As you guys walked to the house, you walked past the remains of the cultists left out to rot and bake in the sun today. Probably a little bit of fear, maybe bloat flies and other things coming up from the river to nest inside the carcasses. But otherwise, just left nearish to the docks all night.
Hey, Sam, those bodies are really smelly.
Yeah, honestly, maybe while they're busy with this, they look pretty enamored. I don't think that anything could disrupt them from this. Maybe we should sneak out and, dispose of them.
If you don't mind, I could stay
Fireworks.
here and kind of distract them if need be. I could distract them if need be so they don't go looking around finding,
All right, Jim. We'll go take care of it.
Okay.
So you guys are trying to sneak out of this group. Why don't you guys start us off with a sneak roll tonight? We'll see how DK, you don't have to roll one for Jim since you're staying. But if Sam and Raven are trying to get out of there, Raven already conversed with like one of them that was probably the one that opened the door for you, which was not the eightfold speaker, just a random cultist opened up the door.
Do you see an easy way out of here, Raven? You think that you could?
Okay,
you could
Jim,
help me?
don't be doing anything I would do.
Yeah, Jim.
Okay. All
Hands
right.
to yourself.
One success for Raven. Okay. And what's Sam get here? Whoa!
Oh God,
nice. No. So Raven proceeds to walk out the door rather sneakily. She sort of just breaks off from the crew here. Sam attempts to follow and very quickly catches, about as soon as he pivots, catches the foot of one of the chairs with one of the cultists sitting in it, kind of squeaks it, pulls the cultist. They go, oh, you scared us. And the speaker looks at you, goes, one of our traveling companions that brought us to the town. Oh, thank you for showing up to today's sermon. Your name was Sam. Sam, it is nice to have you here with us today. Truly, your faith in the orb is palpable.
I'm turned away, and when that happens, I kind of just deadpan look over to them and kind of drop my arms and awkwardly say, yeah, Sam, happy to be here. Very, very happy to hear the good word of the orb this morning.
Yes, and of course, and what was your question that you could not wait on? What was your burning question you had for the orb today?
Oh, sorry for the interruption. It's just it's weighing heavily on my heart. But I question if we're gonna make it in our travels across the river. Orb, enlighten me. will we be okay?
You're going across the river once again. Oh, Orb, will their journey be safe? Ha! It is certain! It is certain! It is certain! It is certain! They all kind of cheer out. Oh, it is certain! The one that you'd moved in the chair jumps out of her seat. It is certain! It is certain! They all turn and look at you and start clapping aggressively in your direction. And he goes, you see, my congregants, they are our chosen vessels of the orb. They will walk its path. They will be its avatar on this destroyed earth. It is certain! And they cheer again. Woo!
It's certain. And I raise my fists and I say, thank you. My question is answered. Now, I'm really sorry to leave early, but I do have to get started on packing up the boat and getting everything prepared. So if you wouldn't mind, if I just sneak out here, and Jim, he would love to hear the rest of the sermon, and he's going to relay it back to us as something to do while we're riding the boat.
And about the time he walks out and closes the door, the eightfold speaker, he has his hand out, reaching out. Well, his loss. It is time for cram and snacks. If everyone would like to make their way to the kitchen, we have a nice little coffee bar set up. If everyone would like to help themselves, there's enough food for everyone. And Jim, you may do the same. And he sits the orb down on the little dresser thing next to it, where they have a little sort of shrine set up temporarily. And he goes ahead and makes his way into the kitchen. They start mingling around. Jim, a couple of them come by and start talking to you. One of them just goes, what a beautiful town. You've been here for some time?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to remember. There's a lot that has happened so far. I'd say a few weeks we've been here.
Oh, what a beautiful place. I am just so thankful to find so many open-minded people ready to convert to the call of the orb. It is just a blessing that you found us when you did. Hell, praise be to the orb.
Well, better us than raiders or Mothman cultists.
Well, those ones tried. The cultists tried, but you see, the orb gave us the drop on them. It told us when to attack, how to attack, and how many of them to kill. Oh, pardon me.
Well, that sounds all well and dandy. Question though, actually no, I don't have a question. Sorry, I thought something was like it was speaking to me, the orb, but it really wasn't. I'm just not.
The orb
Anyway.
spoke to you?
I felt the question coming, and then it went away.
Wow. Maybe your brain is like the orb. You had a question, but it went away because it was answered in your head. I have to ask, do you shake your head a lot throughout the day, do you think?
Well, I can't say I shake my head, but I do.
You should try. We should try.
Oh.
Let us try. And that cultist and two others begin shaking their head back and forth. They're quite aggressive, and we will shake the answers out. I will find them. If the orb is speaking to him, it can speak to me. Jim, as these people have their heads shaking around, is there anything you'd like to do while we still have you in the house here?
Yes, I have a very important question that's kind of above board, but not
Sure.
like just. Is anyone touching the orb at the moment?
No. Out of 5 of them, about 3 of them are in the kitchen, including the eightfold speaker. And I guess there's 6 of them. Sorry. So yeah, there's about 3 in the kitchen, maybe 4 at this stage. Probably one's in the bathroom or something. And there's the 2 that are with you in that room, sort of flanking you, but not really stopping your approach to see the orb or anything like that. And those 2 are just violently shaking their heads to the point that they're dizzy-ish.
Okay, well, now that everybody is in a distracted mood, I walk over to the orb and I grab it.
Okay, roll a stealth check on that. It will be difficulty 2. There's 2 people there.
Okay.
So you can choose to spend AP on that as much or as little as you'd like. You guys have 5 out of 6 AP in your pool right now.
Okay.
In fact, I should actually probably roll and see what they're. Let me roll for them because it's a little bit better to just instead of giving you that harsh what the difficulty is. Let me actually see what these guys roll for their sneak and perceptions here and all that. Okay, yeah, difficulty 2, we'll say.
Okay.
So, Jim, as you go up to reach for the orb, you get into proximity where you can see this does indeed appear to be a magic 8-ball, as you've either seen pre-war or heard about in adverts and things since then. And as you reach out and put your hands on its plastic, you hear, "Stop! Stop right there! Do not touch its defiler!" There, 2 of these cultists have now made noise, but they are going to go into a combat phase here. Let me see where these guys are. How many are there that I need to add? 6 of them. Okay. Good luck, Jim, says Raven. So, 2 in the room here. Let's show that one and put maybe this one down here. I actually don't know which ones I'm grabbing. That's number 5, number 4. Number 1, we'll put them in the kitchen with the speaker. And I'll do the same with number 2. We'll keep it sort of easy. I did not know this was going to happen. I didn't see it exactly coming. Such is life. And I think that's it, actually. That's 6 of them. Okay. So, DK, what's their initiative? What's yours, by the way, if you want to remind me of initiatives for you? Theirs is 10.
All right. Let's see. Oh, 11. Mine's 11.
Okay, so you get to go right before either of these cultists, and let me readjust where you are on the room map here.
Okay.
Yeah, that I want to put them like, yeah, that's about right. That's about right. So you got a couple in the kitchen. They surely heard the shriek and yell from the 2 that are in here. You're about as pinned in that room as you kind of can be. But it is your turn. You could try to evade this. You could try to fight them. It is your time to shine.
Okay, well, let's see. Well, if I can, I will scream something out
Sure.
to try to appease them.
Sure. We're going to say that that's probably your minor action, unless it might be a test. This might be the major action. We'll see what you do.
All right. So I'm going to scream. I scream, wait, the orb called me to touch it.
Oh, okay, I like it. Yeah, this is going to be a speech and charisma check, and we're going to roll against these 2 here in the room with you. So you can go ahead and roll your speech and charisma, and So you, two.
Yes.
That's good. That's good.
Ah.
Okay, so let's see
I
what...
have a question.
Yes.
I was going to ask before he rolled this, but with a good roll, could we hear it?
Where did you guys go?
We're right outside next to Marcus.
Oh. We'll say due to your distance, if you can do a difficulty 3 perception and survival, yeah, you can hear it. But you guys are outside and like quite a distance. Well, I mean, you know what I mean, relatively. They need to roll speech and charisma here. One of them, DK, you have convinced. The other is not, but they have not beat you by a lot. So both of them rolling, one of them got 0 successes, the other got 2. So one of them goes, I mean, we were just shaking our heads because he could hear it in his mind after all. And the other one goes, he still touched it. He wasn't supposed to touch it. That was the rule. You don't touch the orb. And they have a gun drawn at you, DK or Jim. I'm gonna let these two. I'm gonna let you, Jim. You're gonna have another chance if you would like to say more to persuade these folks. I don't think the other two rolled their perception and survival, so.
All right, so...
But we're going to conclude their turn and go back to you, Jim. So, Sam and Raven, if you guys are going to do something, make sure to interrupt me whenever, if you decide to. Jim, otherwise, back to you.
Well, I don't want to have to hurt any of you, but if the orb demands it, I'll do what I must.
Oh my gosh, what are you going to do, Jim?
Well, okay. I grab the orb, and I say, should I attack them? And I shake it.
Oh, ooh, how cool! Okay, roll a d20. Let's see what your number is, and I'll match it with the grid, the orb grid. 3, without a doubt, it says to you.
All right. Okay. Well, all right. I pull out my my 44 Magnum pistol. And I take a shot.
Before you confirm this, I would like to run something special past you, DK. That your character was used as an example during Saturday's little mini game. So at some point today with your 44, you get that roll automatically. We rolled an astounding thing, and I told them in a call, I said, DK just gets that as a gifted number whatever, because I rolled your luck. So for those at home, DK has a potential, whether he wants to use it on this person, it is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 points of damage, which would activate the piercing on your gun.
Oh.
If you'd like to use that, I'm just throwing that out. That's your first shot of the day with a 44. We'll do that.
Well, I want to I want to shoot the one that doesn't agree with me.
Okay, sure. Got you. Okay, why don't you go ahead and roll your chance to hit with it? So go ahead and roll your small guns and perception?
All right.
Or agility. I'm so sorry. I think it's agility. Right?
Oh. Yeah, with agility, yeah.
Sorry, I said the wrong thing there.
Okay.
2 successes!
Ooh.
Easy. Do I have that gun sound effect anymore? I don't know that I do, but bang! You take that shot, and that cultist is just blasted. Jim, is there anywhere you aimed or shot at in particular, just for the thematics of it, or you down them fast?
Now let's leave it up to the die.
Okay, roll it. Go for it. Do a hit die, and we'll see where you got him. Bang! Right to the torso. Blasted out. Blood all over the wall behind them. That was the doubting cultist. Falls dead to the ground. And everyone goes, ah! It's the will, the orb, and the others come out. The eightfold speaker, the other kind of comes out of the bathroom. They come through. Huh?
I just want to scream. I scream as they're coming. I'm like, "Do you dare doubt the orb?"
I am the speaker. I speak for the orb. The orb would not want this violence. It is not our way.
Well, your fellow brother had doubted the orb's will.
It's true. He doubted. Jimir speaks for the orb. He is enlightened. We all were here. We were shaking our heads. We heard the voice of the orb, and it told him to kill our friend. This was an acceptable killing. We should leave their body out in the sun.
Sam, what was that? That sounded like gunshot.
Yeah, I was going to say we most definitely heard a 44 Magnum from 30 feet away.
Yeah.
So I bust in and ask, what the hell's going on?
They pull their guns on you. What are you doing here?
What's going on? We heard a gunshot.
This is our business. You need to leave.
As far as I see, the orb is in the hands of our buddy.
And he is now our eightfold speaker. If you could tread on this ground, we will kill you.
To me, seems like the eightfold speaker should be the one making these threats, not you.
He's the eightfold
Drop the
speaker.
weapons.
I was the eightfold speaker. We all speak together.
Jim, will help here?
Well, I'll ask the orb. I'll ask the orb if we should spare your life.
Yes.
All right,
roll.
Orb.
Jim the orb leader.
Should we spare their lives, Orb?
By the way, Jim, because you followed something the orb said and killed that guy, you also get a bonus luck point, which you can just utilize in any way you want. It's sort of just floating as a temporary one outside of it. You asked, should it spare them? You shake it, and its answer is, concentrate and ask again. You could re-roll if you'd like.
All right.
Or you could always lie. I mean, just to put in the gaming context, you could lie if you could pull that off, but...
Well, I'll see the next roll and decide my fate.
Okay, go for it.
Our fate?
19.
Oh. Yes.
Only death may come of it.
All right, well then I'm going to say that the orb will spare their lives. Lie.
So be it. We will lower our arms. This situation could have been avoided had you all attended the lessons of the orb. Unfortunately, one of your comrades has been killed.
Well, he can join his other buddies then.
That's true. Drag him out into the yard. And two of them dragged that person's body outside and just slough him into the garden out front. There. Business is taken care of. Two of the others go to tidying up the blood. You see, we're such an amicable group of people. None of this violence was necessary. If we would just have consulted the orb, none of the problems would be had.
Oh, great, another smelly bodies.
If only... Well, if your comrade there would have to the orb place, there would not have been an issue.
All hail the enlightenment of the orb! Now we must start the sacred ceremony and the 30 shakes. You must take the test, the gauntlet, the trial. Jim, you set to be the eightfold speaker. When the orb gives you 30 resounding answers of success, then you will be anointed.
All hail Jim of the orb.
Well, I think we should give it a shot and see if we can get the answers.
So the cultists begin sort of amassing around you, and some of them begin whispering into your ear, Jim, that the next step in making yourself the leader here is this very long and arduous, like 30-hour long process where, like, on the top of the hour, every hour you have to shake the orb, but it needs to give you like the ridiculous, like, the way they're saying it is 30 consecutive yeses will point you as the thing. But you know also that you're set to ship out in 30 minutes or less. Whatever you'd like to do in telling them that, you could start and do like a couple, like one shake now, and maybe gain some extra trust for them, or you could, you know, sort of renounce the position for now, or you guys could change your plans and stay here and become cult leaders.
Well, I say we give them a few shakes as a sign of good gesture, and then be on our merry way.
Proceed, Jim of the Orb. Roll. Cast an extra d20 and see what happens. The orb says, cannot predict now. Ah!
Oh.
Oh! They are, oh my. Oh. Something is wrong from the very start. Give me that. And the eightfold speaker, he goes to grab it from you. Jim, if you want to resist it, you can do a contested roll with him. But he's going to try to snatch the orb from your hand in a very quick motion.
No, I let him take.
Okay, great. So the eightfold speaker, good that you let him too, because he did not have a lot of strength up his sleeve. He swats and grabs it from your hand. I do not know what all happened. I was in the kitchen preparing Blamco mac and cheese. I did not see the altercation, but it is clear the orb does not like this. He goes, I am going to retreat to the study upstairs, and I will consult with the orb in private. Do not allow me to be disturbed. And he runs backwards out the door, and the rest of them form up a blockade in front of the door there, preventing easy access to the kitchen of the house.
Well, folks, I think it's time we get out of here.
When you say that to your friends, the Orb Cultists, all just the four of them you can see all just nod, heavy nods in agreement.
What is going on?
Your friend killed one of our own because the orb spoke to them in confusing and unclear ways. Too many Mothmen around scatters the beams.
Maybe the orb is tried.
The orb was fine until you all came in here and killed our friend.
I don't know what to say except I was just following the order of the orb.
And for that, we let you live, Jim. May the orb always guide you, but may you be wise enough to receive its guidance with clarity next time. Please do not return here anytime soon. All of you. You brought trouble to our doorstep. Trouble, they brought death. And they ruined the carpet. Yes, the carpet is absolutely ruined. We'll never get the blood out of it. And it's on the chair. I was sitting in that chair. The 4 cultists are very upset about the house.
Oh, sorry, I will send Al clean it.
We will take care of it. Be on your way. Dirty, dirty, dirty.
All right, well, let's get out of here before it gets worse.
I stepped out minutes ago to have a cigarette and process what the hell's going on.
You guys regroup out by the dead body in the garden, bleeding out slowly.
I kind of look.
What a bunch of nuts.
Are there windows in the front?
Yes. Some drapes, very just typical Appalachian wood home, colonial style, if you will.
I kind of peer to see if they're looking out at us.
They are not.
If they're wrapped up in their own games, then I just want to pick up this body and take it to where I need to take it.
Where are you going to take it to, Sam?
So, initially, I was coming back here to talk to Marcus to see and kind of like take him out and point him to that trash can over here and try to get him to recognize trash bags and see if he can find some for us.
Oh, how interesting. Okay, so you're asking Marcus to find you trash bags.
I mean, a bag of any kind, really. And I put out my arms, and it's about yay big, about the size of a male body, of an adult male. 3 of them.
Go ahead and roll a speech and charisma, Marcus. Marcus, the ghoul, the last postman, everyone. With 2 successes, Marcus looks at you, and he goes over and he grabs a box off of the shelf and brings it over to you, Sam. Hands it to you. You see almost immediately this is a box that was headed towards a mortuary is on the address there. And as you open it, you see it is full of about 5 body bags.
Fantastic. I thank Marcus. And I also kind of look around for an empty wooden box. There's multiple, or what have you, or just a pretty decently sized one. Maybe it was carrying an appliance that someone already took out. And I see if Raven can give me a hand with it.
Sam, that great idea.
Thank you. We'll, I figure we just pack them all up in here, take it on the boat, and drop them somewhere in the middle of the river. And wash our hands with it.
Fish food.
Do you still have that power armor, Raven? You think you could give me a hand?
Does Raven still have that power armor is a question. As a warning, every scene that you use that power armor, it's depleting its fusion core, just as a reminder. I think you used it twice now, notably. And it already only had, I think, 5 half charges in it, is my recollection, because that one was already stolen. So you're down to about 2 to 3 uses left in it, just as a heads up.
I left it on the boat.
That's fine. We can just use our elbow grease. We can keep it on the boat anyway. Maybe we can find a fusion cell. Fusion core. And I just...
Oh, a hamster.
Yeah. And I looked the box with Raven, where the bodies were, pack them up in those body bags. Try to get as many pieces that I can
You are
as
out
they're
there
decomposing.
in the street as there are some guards walking by going, horrible stuff that. I don't know why you guys brought all this back to town. This isn't our way. You know, we're not taking care of it. It's good you're cleaning your own messes.
Yeah, sorry about that. A bit of misguided judgment. I, didn't think it would be this wild. But their numbers are thinning by the day, so I don't know how much longer they're going to be here.
Well, all I can say is I think they got something to them. That orb seems pretty damn cool. I just, well, we're all just looking for something to believe in.
If it helps you sleep at night, then by all means. But I would definitely advise not touching it, or else, we might end up in another one of these messes. And I point to one of the body bags of the guy who just died, kind of still bleeding. Maybe it's made it moisten the bag a bit.
Recent kill here in town? One of the cultists did this?
Jim made a mess, not me.
You
like
shot
on the
him.
outskirts of town.
Well,
you pulled a gun first.
Well, it got a little hairy when I felt that orb speak to me, and they didn't like that at first, but then I don't know how, but the orb convinced them the other way around. I had to take care of tractor.
Wow,
Very
you're a
hesitant.
speaker for the orb?
Apparently so.
Wow, if I ask you some questions right now, you think you could give me some answers?
Well, not technically. I would need to have the orb with me. I can't get access to that thing because they've got it locked down with a key, like metaphorically speaking, upstairs in that house. If you go up in that house and try to get that orb, be careful because those guys, they're on edge right now.
Wow, I think I'm gonna go over there after lunch and see about joining up. I like what they're offering. I'll make sure not to touch it, though. Good advice. Good advice. Don't want to wind up like this guy. He must have touched the orb wrong, huh?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good luck with them. I hope that it brings you all the peace that you need. We kind of got to get a move on. Appreciate the conversation.
Yeah, you too. Have a good one. Don't do anything the orb wouldn't tell you to do.
Most definitely. And I kind of finish packing up these guys in here, closing the lid, and loading them up onto the boat.
DK, as he's moving away, you hear one of those two, that guard talking with another one, and goes, "Man, these cultists, they're intense, but man, we don't want to get on their wrong side. This seems like they know what's going on." Yeah, I'm probably gonna go over there too. I'll join you afterwards. We'll see what's up. Make some friends. They seem very nice. One of them even brought me food this morning. It's about what you hear before you head off. Okay, I see you're all packed up on the boat there. As you're all saddling up, you see Alfred at the helm of the boat, or coming back and forth in and out of the cabin. He's got his little captain's hat on one eye stalk. He's got a skeleton mask on the other. And he goes, First Mate Rusty, get everything ready, batten the hatches, get the masts pulled, do the stuff, get the rope over there, we're shipping off, look, all the sailors to swab the deck, they're here, wonderful, good to have you, hello Jim, hello Sam, hello Raven, it's wonderful, what is that interesting box you're bringing aboard? Is this full of ammunition and supplies?
I wish, buddy. It's just full of some waste that we're gonna need to get rid of.
Oh, well, try
Open
not
it
to
out.
leave it in front of the Brahmin. One of the heads is a little chewy with that stuff.
I'll be sure. And I kind of move it away from the Brahmin near this corner over here.
Rusty
Hi,
looks at you
bestie.
as you bring it over and goes, you guys killing extra cultists or just cleaning up around here? I heard some gunshots a moment ago. A gunshot.
A little bit of both, Rusty. A little bit of both.
Well, why do you gotta bring it here? I mean, when I don't have a nose, I can't smell, but still, look at the flies. And I gotta be honest, I know you're new to sailing, but bringing chum onto the river seems like a really bad idea, but I'm here for it, honestly. If we get eaten, I'll just add to my reputation.
Who knows, maybe we'll be able to catch some mirelers with it.
Well, now that's
You
an
could
idea.
sell it, Mr. Rusty.
Sell decomposed bodies? Not much of a market for that. Fresh, untouched, working, pristine organs. Look, we can do you a deal there, but once they sit out for more than about 13 hours, that's the golden rule. The organs are no good after 13 hours.
Yeah, plants love it.
Well, then we should toss them on the garden here in town, and we can see what sort of potatoes grow.
I don't know how everyone's going to feel about eating cultist mulch. We didn't have time to dig a grave, and I'm not going to give it a burial at sea right next to the town to not pollute the water. So, really, our only option is to take it a few miles down the river and toss it. Let it be someone else's problem. I'm sure that there's plenty of stuff nastier than this out in that river.
Well, makes sense to me. The water filtration and all that might still pick up a little bit of the tangy flavor, so I feel ya. Let's dump them out in Mirelurk territory and see what comes to get us.
What could go wrong, Mr. Rusty?
We could, Raven, get ourselves a bunch of Mirelurk meat, enough to take down to the free radicals, and we could sell them so much food. Or the boat gets a massive hole punctured through the hull, everything's filling with water, Bessie here drowns, and I lose all my cargo, but that's an adventure for maybe today. I got more Brahmin, don't worry about it. I have a couple more on back burner, so no problem. Plus, Betsy here can't really
Rusty.
swim, so she'll get eaten first, and
I won't let Bestie drown.
Rusty, you're quite the orator, so, maybe if it makes for a good story, you could tell it and sell it.
Tell it and sell it, Sam. Good idea. As we learned last week, capitalism never let anyone down. Selling stories is good. And, I'm very excited to get this enterprise off the ground here. We got a lot of hungry people to sell to, and hungry people means markups.
Good old spirit, Rusty. Your moral compass never let me down. Are we ready to get this ship sailing?
Specifically, where are we off to? We heading to the free radicals first.
I do think so. I think we're heading south. Let me check the map.
Well, then I'll let the captain know. Hey, Alfred, we're gonna go. They're saying, ship off, blow the little horn. Boot, boot. He blows it. You all are on board the back of this boat, and this is going to be a great time for us to head into our break. When we return from our 10-minute AFK, we will have you guys roll perception survival, see what's out there on the open water. Sam, you can let me know when you're ready to kind of dump these guys somewhere between Hope and the free radicals, I'm guessing. And that's where we'll pick up. So, quick reminder to everyone watching. Again, you can get in and use those Bethesda gear discount codes up on the shop. BTales 26 and 27. And by the way, if those have expired by the time you're listening to this, just increase the number at the end. Try 28, 29. And if you want to buy a copy of the TTRPG for yourself, use the code BTales, no numbers at the end, at the Modiphius shop. And if you want to see any of those links for yourself, you can go click them below. They're probably in the YouTube description or wherever you're listening to in the podcast player. If you're up on Substack, with the newsletter. They're in the bio below at the very bottom of boilerplate. So 10-minute AFK, everyone. Go get your drinks, fill up your drinks, get your snacks, whatever you got to do. We will return. We are going to head off on the adventure down the Ohio River. Do we have all of our players back? Hello.
I'm here.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, everybody, we are back. Let's get this pulled up on screen. Sync this over so folks can see. There we go. Take off this portion of it. Okay, so when we got up, Sky was asking if this is, if Point Pleasant is before or after the West Virginia lumber mill. That is far down the river from there. If it takes you maybe 2 hours to get to the West Virginia lumber mill, it'll probably take you about 6 or 8 to get further down to Point Pleasant. A heads up for the crew.
That works for me.
Okay. That being said, Raven, you want to go ahead and roll us a perception and survival, assuming you're taking the lead in helming the ship here. Great. 3 successes. Wonderful. With your high score on that, as you begin traversing down, and I'm just going to use probably Jim's icon here because he's the top of the list of that. You are headed down the river as you're passing by the Ohio Bridge. In this area, when you're on the other side of it, you're just about shy of where the boat icon is on the map. We'll do a little specific ping here. It's about in this region, Raven, where you, with that score, do see mirelurks clamoring about on the Ohio side of the river. So like over in that area where you can kind of see the little islandy bits chopped up there on the map, little like bog portions. Those are those little like river islands that form up and stuff. And you can see mirelurks chittering around there. If Sam was interested in throwing bodies overboard, this might be a great place to do it.
Lurk.
Now's a better time as any. And I take the box on that kind of open part of the boat on the side of it, near the back.
Can I feed them?
I mean, it's kind of gross, but I'm sure that there's some bits that you could throw out there. And I kind of open it up. She can take whatever she wants out of it, but ultimately I'm just going to like dump the box.
Okay, here, fishy.
And empty its contents off the side.
Okie dokie. So Sam's tossing them over to feed the fish. Okay, you go ahead. You throw them over as the boat is going past. You begin to see some mirelurks clamber over, begin to grab up some meat, getting some of those bodies. There's bits from the ones that were crushed. Sure, that's catching their interest. Chumming the water, so to speak.
Come get the food, fishy.
As you are chumming the water, feeding these fish, Raven, you see a bunch of bubbles forming next to the boat. Far enough away from, but to the side of the boat. Bubbles, 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 bubbles. And in just seconds of bubble, 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 you see a massive form emerge from the water, Raven. Huge and towering. Something grabs one of the bodies and pulls it in. You see something covered in vines and plant bits, covered in what you almost might think are coral and other rocks, other formations of silt and debris from the river. This massive towering creature pulls its head out of the water, clambering closer to the shoreline, grab with the body, taking it and throws that body into a pit of smaller mirelurks you see come up and begin trying to digest, chew, rip, tear at it. Is there anything you want to do
Oh,
here?
that big fish, Mr. Sam. I think we need a bigger boat.
Yeah, maybe a bigger boat with a 20 millimeter cannon attached to it. Jim, is there any way you can speed this thing up?
Oh, I could try to. I don't know. I'll see what I can do.
Oh, I like that we got to run.
Yeah, I think it might be time we get the heck out of Dodge.
Yeet.
Yeet it is. Yeet it is. On your way, the boat keeps on going. You ignore the Mirelurk queen that you can see feeding her brood as your boat begins to sail on. Calmer waters meet you on the other side of the feeding frenzy. You continue to see a couple more Mirelurks shamble up and down the side. You also see a couple wolves, feral dogs, something of that sort. Hard to tell exactly as you're sailing past on your way. And in a short order, what would to all of you be on the left-hand side of the boat, you do begin to see the structures of the West Virginia lumber mill come onto the horizon. Just as you pass the last corner, you arrive. There's a little dock area you can see coming into view. If that's the goal of the crew, you can begin to pilot into that area with Alfred's help. Get over there and get a nice spot to dock. Is that the crew's plan here?
Yes, I kind of nudge Rusty. I say, land ho, and point to the lumber mill. Say, you ready to go make some money, buddy?
I'm always ready to be making money, Sammy boy. And these guys love me. I think this is going to be great. Let's hope they don't remember where the boat's from, though. Be a little on guard about that. Maybe a little cagey if they start asking any questions about it. Just defer them back to me. For those at home, there actually is a really nice, pardon me, let me rephrase that. I was going to say it's a really nice dock. There is a small dock that goes out from the West Virginia lumber mill. Not really sure I can throw this up on screen at all anyway, Handy. Maybe I can. Let me just see here for a quick second. Just to get you guys a little extra of it. Desktop capture. I would need to switch windows, won't I? How about this one briefly? Will it show this now? If I toggle this. Maybe not. Oh well. Oh, I think I know. I think it's probably not going to do it on the fly. Something about having to reset this? Pause everybody at home just for 1 second and we'll see what we can do. Boo! Well, you could go look it up, West Virginia Lumber Mill in the wiki, and you can see it for yourself. I don't have that picture in chat, but you can grab that on your own. It's quite a simple dock. But the point is, as you're pulling into the West Virginia Lumber Mill, Alfred expertly guides the boat over, pulls up next to it, Rusty ready at the side of the ship. Okay, I'll do some of the introductions. They already know some of you. Don't forget that code word if you asked it. What was your code word again, Sam?
Blue Danube.
That's it. Good. Keep that close to you. And don't let it go. As the dock comes into contact with the boat, Rusty throws some ropes from the back, ties it off there, and begins to disembark. Betsy the cow, the Brahmin, still on the back of the boat. You see a couple of free radical raiders walking down the little winding walking path they have down to the docks. Rusty throws up a hand and goes, "Hey guys, it's me. I'm back and I've brought some goods from the town of Hope, a very exotic and exquisite place full of cultured peoples and the like. Great, great people. We love them. So, maybe you could get me a meeting with some of your leaders. Is the boss around at all?" And they start to get to chatting. Are you guys getting out and hanging out with the free radicals yourselves? How far do you want to go in going into their camp? What might you want to do? What's the things that are catching your eyes?
I think that we could get out, because I do want to talk to them, especially about what's coming. And also, maybe we could take a journey to the Red Rocket and pick up some extra gas.
Sure.
Maybe there might be some still left.
Sure.
And also, maybe, we had discussed about maybe using that as like a forward post. So maybe if we'll talk to the Raiders about the Red Rocket being used as that.
Go for it, by all means. So you could get off the boat and start. Sam's sounds like following up to Rusty. Raven says she's gonna stay on the boat. Jim, are you going along, or are you hanging out back on the boat as well?
I'll go check things out.
Okay, so Raven's back on the boat with Alfred. And Betsy. We got Jim and Sam going with Alfred and the Raiders up towards the actual interior establishment of it. From memory, there are a couple different buildings. You can see there's silos, a couple of them marked with the Free Radicals logo. There's a water tower. There is the main lumber milling building that has a sort of a watchtower attached to the top of it, a modern creation of the Raiders. And Raven, what might catch your eye from down there and the water looking up is there's even a cage up at that height hanging as a what almost looks like a lookout or like a beacon point, but what you could guess is sort of just a cage for anyone that's a wrongdoer in that part. As you guys are being walked up through the place, you pass a couple burnout wrecks of vehicles. You see some porta potties. You see some sitting areas. They actually have a little ammunition vending machine there. You see what looks like a makeshift stage put together. Again, another cage hanging off of that. And as those free radicals, walk you towards the large lumber mill area, you start to go up a ramp, up and up and up. You're at what's probably the second floor, maybe even close to a third based on where this is. You're now up above the height of the barns and single-story buildings that are there as they gesture you and Rusty towards some doors. Rusty goes,
"Bestie, these guys seem bad. We should keep our eyes peeled."
Rusty goes, "Well, it looks like they're, maybe the boss is ready to see us already if they're inviting us inside. What do you guys think? You both ready to go on and shine?"
No time like the present.
That's a good attitude. And Jim, you're looking chipper, as always.
Well, it seems as of late things have been going my way. So,
well, let's hope it keeps that way. The guys open up the door for you, and you see a rather nice canteen area set up. Especially for this part of the Wasteland, what you might have expected, especially from Raiders. There are no bodies here. There are no blood bits or viscera around. In fact, you all have mucked around more with the dead today than any of these Raiders. As you walk in, you hear some music playing off to the side. You see some people eating lunch. You see someone behind the bar kind of cleaning off the counter, couple drinks, glasses, cups, mugs, all the rest. They're running a decent little establishment here. Rusty says, "Yeah, you mind if I get a drink before we go on down to meet with the boss? I mean," and the guards say, "Help yourself. You're going to wait here. We'll be back to let you know if they actually come to see you." We'll get you the invite in. Good. Well, we'll just take a seat right here. What do you guys want? Sam, Jim, tabs on me. They already owe me. What are you drinking?
I opt for a beer and a cigarette and offer one to Rusty.
Thank you very much, sir. I won't smoke this now, but I might be able to trade this later. These things are actually pretty valuable here. You're showing off a little bit, Sammy boy. That's not a bad thing. Let them know we're serious.
There's plenty more where that came from. I'm a bit of a hoarder of these.
Then we might be able to get ourselves some nice upgrades. And as he says that, a free radical comes up and clasps him on the shoulder as Rusty's sort of just sitting into his seat at the... There's tables, long tables here. It's very kind of cafeteria style set up on the inside. Sort of a just recreational hall. No, I'm sorry, that's the wrong word for it. I was going to say rec hall, but that might call to mind other things. It's just pretty square open space in here. Lots of space for sort of communal, just gathering and in and out throughout the day. You get the vibe that this is serving as sort of the central hub of the place. If people were inside, it's going to be here. And so as Rusty takes his seat down, a radical says, "Upgrades, huh? Well, I saw you guys come in on that boat. That is a nice piece of kit. It's not every day we see Wastelanders like yourselves tugboating around. How'd you get your hands on that thing?" He sits down with you all at the table, injecting himself into the three of you.
I give Rusty a look to see if he's going to lead or he wants me to.
You can lead, Sam.
I tell the guy, well, we live downriver from the pit, and luckily a group of survivors, they must have stolen it from the slavers there or something. They came down on it. They didn't have much use for it after they came and stayed, found a safe haven in the town, so we're using it to make a few rounds down and make some important meetings and trade.
Oh, the pit, nasty business up there. You know, we actually have a couple people from there. Maybe they know something about it themselves. I might do some asking around, see if they have any other leads, if that's the kind of material they're bringing down. I've even heard that there's some people up there still living in the pit, trying to get those forges lit and running again. Can you believe that?
That sure would be a sight to see. Who knows what they would be able to make out of there.
I hear that if they could get the foundries online, get the factories set back up, we could be producing pre-war goods again. And you know, with our close proximity to that area, well, I just think we're sitting somewhere pretty. We're on a river. We could get up that way. You guys got a boat. That's a great plan. Rusty goes, hold on there, man. Look, I'm the one that does a lot of the booking of the boat and the management of the river that goes up through here. I like your gumption and your speed. What'd you hear about all those forges up there? Maybe you could fill me in on it. It's been a little while since I've heard any updates. And those two get to chit-chatting. And the guy basically relays the same stories that others in the region have heard, which is that the settlers who are at Foundation themselves are settlers who fled the pit. That there have been stories, I guess more substantiated than rumors, going around this part of the wasteland that there are settlers who occasionally take trips back and forth up to the pit through Vertibird. That's something that this person has a special interest in is the Vertibird part. That's what you can see him light up the most in the conversation. Rusty chimes in and there goes, "Really? Flying, huh? Just like pre-war. If we could get our hands on one of those, well, I mean, we could do more than just shuttle people around the wasteland. We could shuttle goods around the wasteland. Much more important than people." items for sale. Knickknacks, baubles, tchotchkes, and the more serious stuff, of course. Generators, food, supplies, ammunition.
Shuttling people might be important too, Rusty. You know what's coming. And I turn to one of the free radicals that's talking to us, and I ask him, have you heard anything about these Mothman cultists?
Heard anything? Well, I mean, our crew run into a couple of them up north. We were trying to get our hands on a boat. Not the first endeavor of ours. One of our buddies and comrades here, Lugnut's pretty good at getting things back up and running. We got a couple vehicles raring to go. We don't have a boat, though. But anyway, the free radicals and the Mothmen, we conflicted over that area. We were trying to get it. They wound up killing a bunch of our people. But I'll tell you, we've seen some people fleeing from them. Some settlers fleeing from them. In fact, saw in one of our, I maybe shouldn't even tell you this, but one of our most recent scouting missions saw a farmstead not far from here completely torched to the ground. And as far as we know, the people were inside it when it burned. So I can just say the cultists are not in a mood for chatter, but this is always a time of year when things are a little more difficult with them. They have some big holiday coming up or something like that. Brings a lot of those loons to town.
Listen here, friend. I have it on good authority that this year it's going to be different. They're planning something, and we had a run-in with these guys. They were powerful. We unloaded pretty much everything we had into them, and they kept moving. And I imagine that, as much firepower as you have here, it still, I don't know if it would be enough if there was a big enough group of them. We almost got wiped out with a small batch. Who knows if there was a full army?
Well,
that's actually why I'm here.
Not to belittle you, man, but if it were the three of you trying to hold your own against Mothman cultists, I mean, I could see why. They took out bigger crews than ours, and we even had power armor at the time. 3 guns against that isn't going to do very much.
They took out a little bit more. I don't know if I should be telling you this, but we had an APC, and they knocked it over clean, up into the air, tipped over.
You have an APC, an armored personnel carrier from what, pre-war America? You're rolling around in one of those, huh?
Well, we were until that. It's a lot worse for wear now. 2 guys is all it took. They practically flattened it.
Noted. I'll keep that in mind. About the time he says that, you see some of the guards appear, kind of walking up from behind him, and he mostly looks and gestures towards Rusty and goes, "The boss will see you now. The 3 of you, if you're all coming." Rusty.
Right, Jim?
Pushes off the table,
I know
gets
you're
up.
Rusty.
Say that one more time, Sky.
Oh, I know you are, Rusty. Are you ready, Jim?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go.
As you begin to follow him, you go down into this basement of the building. Down, I should say, actually, the first down takes you into what would be the actual ground level outside now. And then you go even further. He takes you in to this tight tunnel, broken into the wall, into the rock, and you're following, and you're following, and you smell this just sort of musty, almost crypt-like air as you're going further and further. You see some glowing mushrooms, some just little grasses and mosses that still grow in the caves as you get to an area that breaks out into a more circular, almost sort of oval-like room. And you're a bit higher up as you're looking down and see a table, and you see a man there flanked, or not even flanked, I should say, across the table from him stand a couple other free radicals. One of them gestures up, he goes, "Boss, we got company." And the guy in the center, who you're assuming is being referred to as the boss, he goes, "Rusty, dusty bones, if it isn't you, my man. How are you, Rusty?" "Hey, if it isn't the boss, great to see ya, great to see ya. Thanks for having us. Look, we had a lovely time, had some drinks upstairs, paid nicely in, tipped the bartender, all the rest. We're making good rounds here. Look, my friends and I should say my friends are here, and I want to make some introductions, and I also want to see some of the other merchants that are upstairs a little bit later, maybe make some sales, and maybe talk to you about getting me an escort back up to the farm. I don't know if you're up for it, but if you got some guys, I got some caps, and I got some goods to move." Rusty, what's the other ask you're making? I'll let you know about an armed escort after you ask me the second question. Well, for that one, I will politely and kindly introduce you to our friend, Sammy Boy here. Sam, this is the boss. We show our respect and deference. Hello, hi, greetings, yes. And this is his companion, Jim. Jim's something of a tech expert himself, but don't let him touch any of Lugnut's vehicles. His repair skills haven't been... Anyway, good to meet you, Hello. And the boss looks at both of you, goes, "Sam and Jim, to what do I owe the honor?"
Hello, sir. I do believe that you and I have met before, however brief. Me and my comrades assisted some of your compatriots in delivering fuel from the Red Rocket Station.
You look familiar. That's who you are, huh? Aha, okay. You still remember the code?
Blue Danube.
This man gets a pass. Okay, let him be, everyone. Let him take a seat. You can sit down around the table there. He knocks his knuckles against it and says, "So what is the real ask of being here? What's bringing you all into the heart of the free radicals?"
I pull out my pack of gray tortoises, and I offer him one, and I tell him, "Look, we wouldn't come here if our, hearts weren't heavy with asking you of this help. But I've talked to some of your friends outside. They've told us about some of the dealings that you've had with the Mothman. We've experienced the same things, and I do have it on good authority that they're planning something very big. And I worry that if it comes to this side of Appalachia, it'll wipe out not only you, but everything up north up until Hope."
Well, that's a hell of a statement. Your information about our dealings with them are correct. We've had a couple run-ins. I've lost a couple men, lost some power armor, lost a chance at getting a boat, and I hear you all brought a swanky boat into our harbor, which is something more than we've got going. Lugnut is going to want to get a look at that thing if he gets the chance. So, what do you think we can do to help you with these cultists? What's on your mind?
I think that we ultimately need to be prepared. That Red Rocket Station would not make a bad forward post for you and some of the guys to get stationed in and be prepared for when they come. We might, ultimately meet out at Hope for a final stand if it comes to that. But basically, I'm trying to develop an army. I don't know how many of these guys there are. I know what just a couple of them are capable of, and I fear the greatest. We had two of them. We threw everything that we had at them, and it took everything that we had to be able to put them down. And it was multiple 20 millimeter cannon shots, if that tells you anything.
Well, I got this going on in my mind. You're telling me that you're forming an army, and I got myself a band of guys who are sort of into that kind of work. This could be a fairly good exchange. I don't have much interest in sending my boys out further than we already got them. This is about survival and keeping alive at this stage. My men are spread a little bit thin. Rusty here's got a contingent of them watching the farm, which is good for me. I need farms in this area bringing food in for us. That's also, we got another contingent further south. They're a little bit more of our eyes. But an army, do you have a fort or what are you holding out in?
Really, just the town and what hope we have there. It's pretty well established. We've got a wall surrounding it. We've got plenty of space to put people in if it comes down to it. And we're going to continue our travels down south to potentially find more people and more supplies so we could turn it into whatever we need to be.
One thing that you would be very aware of, Sam, is that when you're talking to him about walls, their walls are much bigger than yours. This place actually has the vibe of somewhat of almost a castle in the wasteland, in the sense that they have very serious walls where yours are kind of small and sort of rudimentary. They have a strong central fortified building with this secret underground tunnel that you're all meeting in. I just think it's important that Sam would have that in his mind, that in trying to sell them on coming to Hope, you would be selling them on maybe you're talking it up, but you would be selling them on a lesser fortified position that they already have here, just as a heads up. If that changes any of Sam's wording to them or otherwise, or even just interests of what you might do in this, seeing these secret tunnels that you're in now, you kind of get the idea that they have a very fortified situation. Based on what they just told you too about having different scouting parties, they're much more established than even Hope is. If you were to probably compare these communities side by side, Hope's probably operating at like a quarter of what this place is doing. Considering that this place now, he's kind of alluded, they have these farms out there that are already getting them supplies. They're bringing it back here. You can kind of see, again, from experience, they're hauling gas back to this. And respectfully, again, I think Sam would know all of those things you just learned about sort of put Hope's efforts into like kindergarten league or something. Hope has a couple little garden plots. These guys have multiple farms that are giving them tribute and fealty. Just in case that changes any of Sam's opinions on defenses or anything like that.
To be honest with you, we don't have nearly of what you have here. It's obvious that you're a lot more well established. You've got to know how to make these defenses. We're severely lacking. I mean, we've got a couple of leader types in the town, but ultimately we're just a town full of survivors. And if you could even spare the knowledge of how we could fortify our defenses better, it would be greatly appreciated. I mean, these people, they're good people, and they just need help.
Good people. How much produce could you yield us for one summer's worth of crop? because I've got an idea here. You guys might make a fine addition to our family. Bring in on board, you could be one of our vassals, give us some tribute, we take care of you, you take care of us, mutual-like.
To be honest with you, I don't know if I have the kind of authority to make a deal like that. I wouldn't, to be honest, I don't know if I want to sell the town. In that regard, no offenses to you, but I've had my experiences with landlords in the past, and typically it doesn't end up too good for the tenant.
Rusty chimes, he goes, look, Sam, it's a great situation they're offering you here. Be it under the Free Radicals' protection, you hope might get to survive another day. These guys know what they're doing. They, as you just said, know how to build defenses, and they have vehicles and armament and things that... The leader kind of butts back in. He puts up a hand and kind of quiets Rusty down and goes, well, the way I see things is I got the manpower to do what you're looking to do, but I don't know that I want to be spreading and risking any of my stuff down here, sending on expeditions up north. That sounds like a Rusty job. That's why we let Rusty do what he does, which is making connections and selling goods, bringing information. But that isn't my job. You gotta convince me something fierce if you're looking for us to just do handouts. I seem to remember even on a ledger from around here, and he kind of snaps his fingers, and one of the guys next to him brings over and kind of throws down a sort of musty, almost dusty looking, but kept up with book, a ledger, and he goes, right here, Rusty and friends. I see we gave you all a pristine fusion core to... Well, it doesn't say what it's for. Maybe they forgot to... We gotta get these guys to write out the whole bill on this next time. But it seems right now you already owe me a little bit of a favor. And you got a boat. Maybe we could work something out. But we're not doing this for free, though. I'll just tell you right off the bat, not out of the goodness of our heart, not out of any helping some random people. In fact, I'll just say that I think all of you, with no undue respect, should be feeling quite gracious and happy that we're able to keep these men here from harpooning and taking your own settlers to task. It takes all my energy to keep this place organized and running straight as an arrow. Dispatching a bunch of thugs up there unattended, marching around your town, not sure that's the energy you're looking for either.
I will consider the task that you want me to do, but I will, in turn, make a suggestion to you. I think that you should put some of your men in the Red Rock station and watch the roads, see if they end up coming, and see what happens. I have a distinct feeling that that there will be some that come through, and I would like you to get a deeper idea of what we've seen. I know you've had run-ins in the past. I'm not sure if they were similar to what we saw that day.
Sam, this is a great time for you to roll a speech and charisma. He did his roll, and it came out exceptionally well. So if you... Okay. Bada bing.
Can I re-roll with my perk?
Yes, you may.
And I'll even pay for luck. Oh, God. For the 16, if that's okay.
You can. I really don't want to metagame it, but I also want to say, I don't know, you want to spend luck on that roll.
No, I just
it's going to get you.
This is. Okay, that's fine.
He rolled 4 successes on his.
Oh, good Lord.
And he goes, I know all about that Red Rocket Station. I already have people that man that area and keep a regular eye on it. I appreciate you down here minding my business. But how about you leave that for me to mind? Unless we have a good rapport going where we start doing a little more. Now, look, I feel like I've been plenty nice to you. I've offered you a chance for your town to come under our supervision, which, considering what all we got going on here, might be a good deal for all you. Rusty's quite happy. It seems like he's been hooking you up. You're already doing business with the free radicals. Maybe it's time we send some people up there to inspect your town and see if it's worth us doing more. What do you say about an inspection team making their way up there? How do you feel about that? That might put me at ease, huh?
If you'd like, you're more than welcome to. As far as the deals you want to make with the town, do you have a working radio here?
We do. We could get you to that if you're interested. Need to check in with your folks. You also do, by the way, on the boat, as a reminder.
Would you allow me some time to think about this and then report back to you? We still do have a long journey ahead of us.
Absolutely. One of these guys will walk you out. It's upstairs above the canteen. There's a couple rooms and such up there. They'll get you sorted. If you'd like to leave now, Sam, you're welcome to it. Jim, Rusty, are you two sitting around to negotiate more, or are we all wrapping our business up for now?
I'm ready to wrap up.
Talkative man, you, Jim.
Mm.
Well, you two go and freshen up a bit. And then when you're ready, come back down, see me before you go, and we'll decide on next steps.
Alrighty, thank you.
So with that, with your first encounter with the boss concluded, your chaperones, your minders that had brought you down here, walk you back up through the winding path as you go up into what is the ground floor, the basement and the ground floor. You go up to the canteen and make your way up a further round. And you, Sam, if Jim wants a shadow, he's welcome to. Rusty breaks off and sits, goes back to the cafeteria area, canteen, starts talking and milling around there looking for some other contacts of his. Jim, again, you can decide what you want to do, but Sam is certainly escorted up to the second floor. And you are shown to this little kind of rickety booth area that's it's got a door. It's all a little janky. It's very Wasteland barn style, sort of broken down. You can see through the boards. And the minder who kind of, ushers you towards this room stands just a little too uncomfortably close outside the door. You can tell this person is there to hear what you're saying. That's why they're there. That's what they're doing is just keeping tabs on you. But you have a functional radio in front of you, Sam.
I'll radio back to Hope.
Pick up the thing, start trying to dial in, and you get a hold of Tom up there. Sam, is that you?
It is, Tom. Are you reading me?
I'm reading you. Where we got you about? You calling from the boat?
Calling from the West Virginia Lumber Company.
Ah, down there with the radicals. And how will they take into your plan, Sam? Are they going to be sending people up, or what are we doing?
That's what I wanted to talk to you about, friend. What they're offering, I'm not sure if it's a deal that we can take. They're wanting us to pay tribute to them for the protection, almost like, the feast of the fiefdoms of old. And I don't know if the answer is to bring hope into feudalism.
Well, that is a hell of a deal you've been given. But I gotta say, Sam, it's not out of the expected realm. It's pretty. We gotta be honest and level with each other here. It's better that we got raiders that are willing to negotiate than raiders who are chopping you all into bits and pieces. I mean, that's already 10 steps ahead of most, especially for these parts of Appalachia. Hope's holding on by a thread. It always has been. We're lucky we've been expanding out as much as we have. And well, I'll just tell you, as soon as Lennon recovers fully, we're going to get her to work on the APC. We got to get this thing up and running, get some town defenses. But if those free radicals, if you think it's a bad idea for us to proceed with their protection, should we be considering evacuation?
I mean, my only worry is, what if we can't make the produce? What if we don't have enough to feed the town with what they're taking from us? I'm wondering. I mean, I know that Foundation's in a bad way, but ultimately that's where we were ending up, and who knows, what characters we might meet along the way. I wonder if he would be willing to give me more time on this and see if maybe there's other opportunities, besides this, and maybe this could be, our final and last-ditch effort is getting their help.
I think you could be right, Sam. It's a hell of an ordeal. I don't know what the terms and conditions are. I don't know if you asked, but considering most raiders, most raiders, if they don't get what they want, they're going to take it by force. So if Hope can't provide, I would imagine Hope's going to get wiped off the map. But here's the math you got to be working out in your head. Is it better to be wiped off the map by a devil we know or the devil we don't know? When are the cultists coming, if ever? I mean, look at where we are on the map. Those free radicals sit between us and them almost no matter what. If they take the roads, there are people with woods, but if they take the roads, they gotta pass near those areas anyway, especially if they're coming directly up from Point Pleasant on Route 81 there. If they're going up 81, they're definitely going to connect with the lumber mill first.
Mm-hmm. You bring up a good point. Tom, even though old Mayor Smiles has the title, I've always really considered you the man who gets things done in the town. And I hate to throw it on you, but if you don't seem opposed to it, then ultimately that's your call, and I'll do what you think is best.
Well, I got one last thought for you before you get ready to hang up on me, and that's to say I have not seen the grotto you all told us about, but that is a fallback location as you presented it. You said that there was green space and clean water and untouched, pristine pre-war area. Moving the town of Hope would not be an easy fare. I'm not necessarily saying we should, but if we do gotta get going, we do have a fallback. The problem is, telling you're the person that knows this better than I, that grotto, if Mothmen got to our doorstep, we'd have to be crossing around the enemy line and down to get to that grotto. That is a choice we cannot make last minute. In fact, the time to make that choice would be the same time, well, I'd say earlier than they get to the West Virginia lumber mill, ideally. I'd rather be moved in instead of just retreating in, tail between our legs as they're still seeing us run. We don't want them to piece it together.
Maybe it's time to get started on at least building some sort of foundation there. Get it prepared just in case, so that we don't have to do that.
See what you can do if you can buy any labor off of them. If we can get any more bodies. We need more people, Sam. That's the problem. We don't have the numbers. Oh, well, how do I say? I mean, if we split the town and send some there, we could establish an outpost. That is a valid idea. I think it could be done. How much do you want to divert to it?
Maybe. We'll see. I'll converse with the leader of the Free Radicals and maybe I can get on some sort of short-term contract. I mean, I don't want us to be obliged to them forever. But if they could assist us for even a year, maybe that'll work.
Do what you think is best, Sam. I just hope you'll keep the free will and autonomy of our people in mind as you're making deals up there. I don't know if these ones are keen to be enslavers. They don't seem like it from what we've seen so far, but I'd rather not, as you said, sell out all the good people of this town and have them work in perpetual contracts for the end of time.
I'll see what I can swing. I appreciate the input, Tom, as always.
Well, good luck to you.
You as well, Godspeed, friend. And I hang up the receiver.
As you do. What's Sam's plan now? You could go regroup with Jim. Raven's back on the boat. Rusty's probably still down at the bar. You could go back and try and get the guys to escort you down to the boss.
I might go have a conversation with Rusty.
Okay. You exit the room. The handler gives you a nod. You proceed on, walking down. Hear the jukebox music playing. You get down, you see Rusty sitting over. He's actually sitting up at the bar this time, kind of bantering with a couple others. You can go up and tap him on the shoulder or something if you'd like.
Rusty, can I spit a spell for a while and talk to you?
Of course, Sam. Pull up a seat. These guys off here, they just bought off my last laser rifles. Hallelujah. That's some good caps for me. And some good shooting for them, I'm sure. No settlers.
What-
Don't be shooting any settlers.
What do you make of all this, Rusty? Do you know if we make this deal, is there any clean way out of it? Is there any way we don't sell off the entirety of Hope to these people?
Well, I mean, maybe you're thinking of it wrong, Sammy boy. You're telling me a story that makes it sound, oh, boo-hoo, the people of Hope, they're gonna be sold out. But look at me, I'm a thriving businessman. Not only am I in good standing with the free radicals and my farm assist them, but also I get them to work at my farm for free. See how that works? And all I gotta do is what I already do. I peddle my wares. I bring things, I tell things, I bring things, I sell things. You're acting like this is some yoke around your neck. Maybe you should start seeing it as a career opportunity, a ladder to climb. Maybe someday you are the boss, but maybe don't say that part out loud, because this boss hasn't been here that long. The one before him was a lot worse. So all I'm saying is, you're getting a pretty fair shake as I see it in these parts of the Wasteland. If you're really concerned about Hope getting wiped off the map, then you're gonna need to protect it. If you could ferry up your soldiers from Foundation, there's another option, but, well, that sounds dangerous. What do you
We've
think?
never necessarily shied away from danger before. I see your point, and I understand that these people aren't nearly as bad as, the Blood Eagles. But I have an uneasy feeling about the deal laid out. And that I care about this town. And if that caring is if it's showing too much, and maybe I'm being a little too paranoid, then I would certainly think that maybe we're better off for it, because you've seen what has happened so far. We've dealt with Mirelurks there. We have this cultist problem, and I just worry about being responsible for putting them into another situation.
The way you tell it, Sammy boy, you've been more of a curse to this town than a blessing. That's kind of funny. I guess it is true your friend did damn the town with some of you damned the town with the Mothman cultists. I think that's kind of funny, because that wouldn't have been a problem if you guys hadn't have. Anyway, look, maybe there's another way to look at it. I think you're seeing yourselves as the hero in this story, when maybe another way to think about it is that you're the villain in it, Sammy boy. You kind of damned the town. Oops, oh well, not the first group of Wastelanders to be killed in cold blood in the Wasteland. And you wouldn't be the first group of adventurers to get a whole town of people killed in the process. But maybe some reflection on that, Sam, huh? You guys are making deals with the devil already, it sounds like. You made friends with me, and that's not a great thing, so look where we are. You're now at the hive and bastion of a bunch of raiders who do, for a living, oppress and, through proximity and power, bend the local farmers and homesteaders to their will. I just gotta say, politely, what did you think was gonna happen? You think they were gonna just offer up their guns? They're raiders, Sam. And maybe you are too, deep down. Maybe that's the point I'm making.
A twinge of anger befalls on Sam's face, and confusion, knowing that deep down he probably is a little correct. I set my drink down, and I say, thanks for the advice, Rusty, and I walk away.
You hear over your shoulder, he says,
hopefully whatever you ate didn't sit unwell with you. We're gonna be back on the boat soon enough, and that face of yours, I know constipation when I see it. Good luck, Sam. I'll be over here. I got some dust to pedal.
he scoots over and starts talking to a person next to him at the bar. Where are you off to, Sam?
I'm gonna sit a spell and think.
Okay.
I'll lay my back against a wall and just think about everything that's been said and hand it over to Jim and Raven if they want to do anything.
Jim, what do we got you doing? Where have you been hanging out for all of this?
No, I found a nice sitting spot, looking out at the hills, and I'm wondering what Sam's been getting into.
You see him across the way if you want to gesture him, gesture for him to come over.
I get up and start heading towards his.
Sure.
Hey Sam, what's been going on? You done chit chatting with
I think we're losing you, DK. Sorry, the mic's going out.
Oh, sorry. Hey Sam. What's going on? You done chit chatting with?
Oof.
Yeah.
Sorry, DK. We got it on every turn for you.
I know. What's going? Hey, I'll just say that. I'll try one more time. Hey Sam, what's going on? You done chit chatting with everybody?
Not sure yet. Haven't made my final rounds with his boss yet.
Mm.
I got to tell you, Jim, between a rock and a hard place here, and questions are being asked and answers are being answered that I don't know that I like. I don't know how well I can sit with it.
Hmm. Yeah, if I could give my 2 cents, I'd say I'm not real keen on that whole becoming subjects to a feudal lord, so to speak.
I'm glad that you see it my way as well. Ricey sees it as a business opportunity,
Ugh.
but I just wish I just want to find more options before we settle this, and I wonder if they'll give us time. I wonder if I can convince them to send their scouting party out first to just maybe get a look at Hope. Like they were saying, they're going to do that regardless, I'm sure. So maybe let them do that and see if he lets us hit him on our way back from the trip.
Yeah, I mean, we can try, but I mean that's all we can do. I don't know what if all they'll let us do it, but we'll have to just I guess try and convince him
Mm.
because I don't know. It seems that that boss guy, he seems to be stuck in his shoes. He doesn't want to give any leeway.
I don't think that you're wrong, friend. I'll have a chat with him, see if, he can give us until we're done with this little journey down the river we're taking, and maybe give him a definitive answer then.
That sounds good.
I look over to the minders and ask them if I can go see their boss.
They, one of them nods at you, and they both, one of them just turns around and starts walking that way. Another one kind of taking the position sort of behind you both. Again, just sort of gesturing you. You both begin following the one as you head down that winding path, back down, 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 and you arrive right above the overlook, seeing the boss, and he looks up and he says,
So, Sam, we got a deal, huh? What are we doing? Is Hope ready to bend the knee, so to speak? Get some real protection up in those parts, or you gotta go this on your own and see how you fare against the cultists in the Wasteland. No shame in dying alone, as they say.
Look, I appreciate the offer, and I would very much appreciate more time to mull it over. We still have a long journey ahead of us. We still have a lot more work to do. We do also still have a little bit of time before the equinox comes. So I would very politely ask you if you can let us come back, on our way back from the expedition that we're making, and come to an ultimate decision then.
In the sake of being repetitive here, why don't you go ahead and roll another speech and charisma, another ask of him. See what, I'm gonna get his roll going here, and I'll let you know what his score is, and you can decide.
Okay.
He gets, 2 successes on this.
Okay, thank you, because that kind of helps me put a baseline on if I need to use AP or not. I will use a singular AP to buy another die.
Okay.
I'm gonna re-roll that complication.
I think the 19's a complication too. Let me just see here, because difficulty 2 tests. Yes, both of those are complications technically. So you got about a 50-50 on that one. You could re-roll both if you'd like. You have the one automatic. Wait, that was how often is that proc? Is it once per scene, or is it?
I don't know.
Check on that perk
me
for
see.
me if you can. I don't know if it works like Jim's clothing where it's once per scene. It might be all the time.
No, it just says when you make a barter or speech test as part of an opposed test, you may re-roll 1d20.
Great. Then you get that free re-roll here, and you could re-roll the other one as well. Using luck, that is to say. 2 successes. So 2 successes, 1 complication is what you got here.
Is it technically, because it was 2 successes before, and then that hit the target number as well.
Why didn't it count that for you?
It does that from time to time.
Huh. Yeah, that's 1 AP back then to your pool. So you got 3 successes and one complication here.
I wish I knew how bad it was. I'm gonna save the luck, I think.
Sure. He goes,
Here, look here, Sam. time is money. I'll just put it to you this way. You go, do your little expedition, do what you gotta do. But just know, the costs might go up a little bit by the time you get back here. Don't worry about it, it's just business. Nothing you can't handle as a honorable businessman from the honorable esteemed town of Hope. As loyal representatives and diplomats, I'm sure fellas like you just know how it goes, so do what you gotta do. Come back, but just know prices change over time. We go with the flow of the market.
Understandable. I appreciate your honesty and your and your offer. We'll be in touch. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing all this great energy into our little town here. It brings smiles to all the guys' faces up there to see such wonderful new friends coming in, new family. I'm convinced.
And he kind of takes you by the shoulders. He's sort of walking you out and goes,
I'm convinced you'll come around and see things our way soon enough, and hopefully not too late. 'Cause, well, I guess I'll just tell you this, you'd be better to us alive than dead. But then again, competition being gone isn't bad either for business. So, bon voyage. Enjoy your little scenic river cruise. We'll be up here fighting, holding down the fort, and all the rest we usually do.
kind of walk you out. The chaperones.
Good luck, sir. We'll be in touch. And I head out, meet up with Jim, and see if he's ready to head back with Raven.
I'm going to assume Jim is good to go. You see Rusty there. Rusty's making some more deals around the place. Actually, at this point, you probably catch him outside. He's probably outside on the balcony sort of area, chit-chatting with some extra people out there. Maybe even going down and starting to make his way through some stalls and things that are set up in the courtyard area. You all, without Rusty at the moment, begin making your way back to the boat, letting him do what he does. Maybe even wave at him, let him know what direction you're going. And as you head over to the boat and start getting into eye shot, you see Raven there. She says she's sitting on the roof of the deck, I should say, toying with old Betsy, the Brahmin, putting some, she says, putting in ribbons in her fur or what's left of it. And yeah, there you go. You go back and you see a rather calm and tame Betsy, now frilled up, dolled up with a couple extra makeshift ribbons Raven has made from probably tattered and torn flags and other bits that are left on the boat.
Rusty, are you gonna head out with Betsy?
He is not with you right now, just as a
Okay.
reminder. You left him in the courtyard.
We saw them
Wow,
outside.
Bestie,
Okay,
you
gotcha.
look cute. You need brushing too.
That's right, man.
She looks like a doll, Raven, but I don't think Mr. Rusty's gonna let him take us with her.
Or
Oh. Love that.
but Bestie is my buddy.
I know. Hopefully you'll be able to see her again.
Oh, okay, bye Bestie.
Betsy's still sitting there on the boat. No one has tried to move her just for the sake of saying it. I mean, you guys are having a conversation about her leaving, but just to be clear, she's still there on the boat. What's your plan now, gang? Now the three of you have regrouped on the boat. Did you want to download Raven on some things? Did you want to... What's your plan at this moment? You could rendezvous again with Rusty, get Betsy off the boat, let him go on his way. You guys could look to keep moving forward. We are getting close to 10 o'clock here, so it's probably a reasonable time to maybe even get ready to kind of wind down for the night. I don't know that we're going to do like a round of combat or anything here anytime soon, unless people want to go hunting or something like that. We'll play at most for about a maximum of, let's say, 30 more minutes about.
I'm good with meeting up with Rusty and saying our goodbyes to him. I'm still a little bit peeved at old Rusty.
Peeved at Rusty. Wow, okay. So is it you going to fetch him, or are you staying behind the boat if you're peeved at him? What's the plan? Who's going to fetch him and send Raven into the encampment? She hasn't gone in there yet. That's her choice.
That's true. It is her new calf that she loves. So if she wants to be the one to deliver her.
Sam, you look mad. You want a ribbon too.
I appreciate it, Raven. I'm ready to get a move on. I'm gonna batten down the hatches here, make sure we're good to go. Make sure that we have the Mothman dust that we were intending to take, and there was none extra taken off the top.
I will take Bestie to Rusty.
One of you, yep, that could happen. Sam, you could do a perception and survival if you want to go like tally up the dust in the hold or anything like that, or if someone else does. If Jim wants to be the counter, whoever wants to do that could go and start to, if you really do want to confirm that, you could do some checks on it. Otherwise,
I'll throw it out there.
I
can't believe that happened. I cannot believe
That's
happened.
Great. You can see that there is a good chunk of dust that's set aside, and you can even gather that I don't know if Raven bothered to mention it, but Rusty and some of the guys have been onto the boat while you were on the interior. There's about 5 or so drumfuls of the Mothman dust missing or gone, off of the boat. You can presume Rusty's crew took that. Crew, I don't know if that's the word to call it, but the people following him, his chaperones. 5, right? That's correct.
I kind of just brush it off because there's not much that we can do, and we still have a decent amount to give to them. So I head back up to the top and just gonna take a seat, maybe lay back a bit, put the hat on the head, over the face, and close my eyes while I wait for Raven to come back.
So Raven, you walk old Betsy off the boat. She follows you quite accommodatingly. She is loaded up now with a big stack of stuff on her back, all of Rusty's belongings and things. And as you're walking across this rickety bridge, you're going up the little winding path. You're walking past a couple free radicals here and there. A couple are sentries. A couple are milling about doing their things, some repair work on the buildings and all the rest. And a couple of them look over and give a good smile when they see the Brahmin moving past. A couple reach out and give her a pat. And as you get into the central courtyard of the place, see if I can actually show a couple more pictures of this. I finally did get this pulled up for the people at home. That's the building that folks were in just a minute ago, the lumber mill itself. There's some nice little like seating-y type of areas here and the rest. And so Raven, as you get into kind of courtyardy area, you see Rusty shaking hands and making deals.
Oh, Betsy, Raven, thanks for bringing her. I'm glad you dropped her off before you departed. Her and I have a big big adventure in the next day or so. We gotta mosey on up north to the farm, maybe make a little travel from there, maybe make a little sales from there. We'll see where they take us. And you, Raven, you ready to come and work at the farm? How you doing? You ready to give up on the seafaring life? It's tiring, it's boring. What do you say? Take care of Betsy for all time, eternity. You could have a great time. You could mine more than Betsy, too. There's other Brahmin, and we're gonna get some more as time goes on, so maybe that's a little bit of your cup of tea. How much to buy off of them? Hi, buddy Lou. 30 more minutes, Lou. 30 more. At most.
Mr. Rusty, I made Bestie cute. Please take care of her. I would love to hang with Bestie, but Sam and Jim need me.
I understand. Look, it's fine. Go on your way. Do your thing. I know how this works. Come on back when you get a chance. Get me in with your Mothman cultists, and you just let them know if they have a good way of getting this going gangbusters here. We're selling it all. So if you could get me another, 60, how about 20 more barrels of this stuff? Even if you take a couple more off the boat, they wouldn't mind. Bring that in here, we could sell it off, we could get enough money to buy you your very own Brahmin, I think. And that's rare in the Wasteland.
Look, I put ribbons on her. I will ask the elders about the dust. They just might like the deal.
Deal's a deal then. You go on your way. Betsy looks great. You got a job waiting for you when you come back. Just don't forget that. Brahmin tender, Raven. I can see it now.
By Rusty and Bestie.
Put that sign right over your bedroom door. It'd be great. Goodbye. See you later. By the way, you didn't want to buy anything from these fellas while you're here, did you? There's a lot of vendors and some merchants here, just in case you need to get anything extra for your journey.
I'm out of caps.
Oh, well, you need to work harder. You need more jobs. That's the answer. Work is a good thing. And you should keep doing it. Work for me. Okay. I know, I got you talking too long.
Bought too much off of you.
Well, that's true. Safe voyage. You know where to find me. Don't forget you have a radio on that thing. Stay in touch.
Raven says she proceeds to hug Rusty, and in the process, give us a sneak roll, Raven. Give us a sneak roll. She's trying to sneak a ribbon into Rusty's hat. Onto his hat. Easy! Raven easily goes and sneaks a ribbon right onto the back of his hat. A big one, too, at that.
Yeah, bye-bye, Raven. See you later. It was nice meeting you and having you meet these people. You should have met the boss. But ta-ta for now. Okay, back to... Hey, look, I can get you 20 more barrels of Mothman dust, he says to the guy. Said, I get 50, 150 barrels. I can get you 50 barrels.
Bye-bye, Rusty.
You can access this whole town, the boat there. It's all kinds of good.
You might get a new nickname around the lumber mill after this, like Ribbon-Headed Rusty.
Ribbon-Headed Rusty. It gives him a whole new meaning to Rusty Dusty Bones. He's selling all the Mothman dust. Raven proceeds on her way back to the boat. Again, you pass some stalls. There's some cooking food going on. A little bit of music starts to play. You hear a little bit of excitement. People are gathering out there, and you go back down your little path. Oh, I could show it now, by the way. Again, it's not extravagant dock here, but there you go. You kind of walk down the little path from the lumber mill, hop on, and this is a perfect example of the boat you guys are using too. You get on the back there, Raven, and Sam's still, kind of laying around. I don't know where Jim is at the moment. Maybe he's in the cabin, but he got old Alfred. He leans out and he goes, "Oh, Raven, we're just waiting for you. If you're ready to ship off, we could sail off into the sunset. Well, I guess it's more like noon. What do you call it when it's
noon set. We'll sail off into the noon set. High sun straight ahead, ready to cook the decks of the ship and all those who serve aboard it.
Set sail, Mr. Al. Noonday sun, I think.
Very well. About in the hatches, ye scallywags.
And he pops you in the shoulder, Sam, as he walks past you.
Out of the hatches, get ready to depart. We're setting sail.
And he goes back into his cabin all excited, and moments later, the boat begins to off. And I think that unless any of you want to have more chatter in the game today, I think that could be a nice place to put a pin in it for this week. That way we won't be rushing anything. You set off into the sunset as your conclusion. If you need anything extra, you're welcome to do so. And I was thinking, since we're going to do a little bit of maybe some smaller stops and things like this along the way, if you guys are interested, I was thinking we could go ahead for the very first time ever and do one of the split level up milestone sort of approaches where I think, having completed a full day's work here and all of this, you were all entitled to 1 extra HP. So that will come out of your level 9 level up, that everyone here can up their health points by 1 point. Your remaining rewards for that level, when you fully achieve it, would be a skill point and finally a perk point. And we'll do them in that order. So it's, if you want to think of it, it's sort of like you get little early level up bonuses. Today you get an HP point. If you guys succeed and do even more in the next, maybe a skill point, and then finally a perk point, and you're leveled up officially to level 9. But this way, everyone gets a little something, a little feather in their cap or a little ribbon in their cap. Any last thoughts or things people want to do as you're heading off from the town? We got Sam, hat over his head. Where is Jim, by the way? Where's Jim take space up in the boat? Does he go under? Is he in the cabin? What parts he go to, Jim?
Well, I got to be in the cabin to make sure it's all running smoothly.
Sure, of course. Actually, we'll do that thing before you go too. Jim, why don't you go ahead and do just a base level repair and intelligence test just to see how the boat's holding up, doing all these adventures. Excellent. It is quite obvious to you, Jim, that this is not too strenuous for it. You guys saw a lot of activity today. It would have been a whole different story. Maybe had you engaged with a Mirelurk queen, but coming down nicely, settling into a dock here. The repair work that was done to the boat over the time that it's sat up there. People have come aboard. They've done some maintenance, probably with some of your oversight at that, Jim. And it's going well. Things in the cabin look good. Alfred's been taken to helming the boat well. And yeah, I think the crew here is settled down to a pretty nice place for today. So what we're going to do next, everybody, if you're watching this episode up on YouTube or you're watching at home later, listening to the podcast, whatever form you're choosing, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping at the end. But the very first thing I'm going to say is we record some extra content that is now going to air up on our Substack. That will probably come out to the Substack on Thursdays, the day after this episode premieres for everyone on YouTube on Wednesday. So we syndicate this episode on Wednesday. It's out on all the feeds. And then Thursday, we are releasing the very first of what we're calling the case reviews, the critical after show evaluation. It is our vault-tec themed 15 minutes or so that is reserved exclusively for our paid members up on Substack. So if you want to become a member of that, go to tftfallout.com and you can again grab that episode. It is not, to my knowledge, going to send out a whole newsletter as a result of this. At least for the start, I don't want it to. I feel like that's a little bit much. We already send out about 3 emails a week now. 1 with the syndicated episode, 2 is the overseer log. I'm really trying to get those to start coming out on a predetermined schedule, either Friday and Saturday. And then we're also, I guess the reason I have Friday slots sort of taken up, I'm doing this summer campaign series that day. I kind of keep sending out updates to people on that. So this one will probably air on Thursdays. You're probably going to need to go to the Substack to look for it yourself. If some miracle happens and I remember to put a link in the bio below or the description below, then that will be indeed a miracle. But on that note, the other thing you can do down in the description that helps us a ton is use those Bethesda codes, everybody. Save yourself 20% off. Get us a 10% kickback on your order. Get yourself some nice gear in the process. Right now, for this week, the codes are BTales 23, 26, and 27. If any of those BTales codes expire, you can try amping up that number at the end, BTales 28, 29. You can always just check out one of the latest YouTube videos because that's going to have the most recent code below. I will also say thanks to everyone that watches the YouTube shorts I've been putting out there, the little B-rolls, the prop footage, and showing off the Pip-Boy and all the rest. It's been really wonderful. If you again want to save 10% off the Modiphius game itself, if you want to start playing this on your own, firstly, they have a quick start guide for free. But if you decide to buy any of the books, if you buy any of the minifigs off the website, which looks super freaking cool, you could save 10% on that. And we get, again, a 10% kickback if you use the code BTales up at their site. And that one doesn't have a number. Again, all linked below. There's an Amazon affiliate link if you want to do it that way. And I'm pretty excited that, I guess this can be pinned at the very end. There is a bit of software I have loved for nearly 10 years. 2016, I think, was the first time I was introduced to it. It goes by the name of Auphonic. And it's a great auto leveling program for audio. It boosts the volume. Listening to podcasts is awesome, but it can be hard to hear people sometimes if they don't level their audio appropriately when they're in the vehicle. And we're going to get a subscription to Auphonic here coming up soon. It does some really nice and cutting. It cuts some silence automatically. I think it's going to let me actually help expedite editing these videos too for YouTube. So again, for a piece of software that I've loved for 10 years, I bought it once 10 years ago and I've been using it, but they've added a whole new suite of AI enhanced tools and algorithms and the rest to help boost your stuff. And we're going to do that. There is a cool thing. I don't have it set up, but if someone out there is a techie sort of lover and wants to donate in that way, there's something where you can donate credits to us. So I'll look into that. But we're doing this and getting ready for the Vault broadcast in June. So if you want some extra time throughout the week where we're bullshitting about all things Fallout, interviewing creators in the community, again, you can get subscribed to that early at vaultbroadcast.com. Find all of our links at tftfallout.com. And just to say, there is a new or enhanced, maybe a flash. Can I flash it up on the screen? I think I can. Yes, I probably. Let me do this real quick, everyone. Got some new pages coming out here. Yes. So here, for example, the Vault broadcast page. This is up on our Notion site. It's talesfromtomorrow.notion.site. Long URL. Probably going to fix that in the future. But it's coming together with a bunch of the shows that we're running. This little page out here has got a lot of the productions. Whoops, sorry. From Tales from Tomorrow to the Vault broadcast, the Overseer Kyle YouTube channel, the case reviews we're doing, and the Overseer's Log, the diary companion episodes I record about this show in particular. You can go check that out all at talesfromtomorrow.notion.site. We'll get that again trimmed down to be a little bit nicer for you to find. But for now, that's going to do it for me. A big thank you to Sky playing Sam. Big thank you to Dark Knight playing Jim. And a big thank you to our friend Mac Raven for playing her character Raven. We will look to be back in the coming weeks. Sky has a change to his work schedule coming up, so bear with us if there's any inconsistencies or any delays with us coming back at you. But just know, regardless of what this campaign's doing, we are branching out into other campaigns. And if you're a player and you want to play along with us in the near future, maybe July, August, September, or later into the year, get in touch with me over on Discord. Let us know. We have a whole application that you can fill out, just generic information saying you're cool with being on camera and mic. You're cool with the sort of rules that we run at our table, but it's a very open and welcoming space. And we're going to be hosting these Discord meet and greets at least up until July 5th about. We're going to have a Saturday session going on in Discord, probably from 1 p.m. Eastern to 3. That is open for anyone and everyone to join, come by, meet some other Fallout fans, talk about characters they might want to brew up, ask questions about the campaign, the scene, the setting, all the rest. That's going to do it for me today, everyone. If you're at home watching this, thank you so much for coming out and watching us live on Twitch and YouTube. We do this on Sunday nights. I'm going to leave it off before I ramble anymore. That's all the housekeeping for this week. Stay safe, Wastelanders and Vault Dwellers. Don't forget, keep those ghouls outside of the vault, especially if they're like rusty and trying to maybe sell you off to some raiders. Take care. Bye-bye.